What's up, guys? Today we're going in, and we're gonna be reading about the best samurai to ever live on this earth. The author of this book, the Book of Five Rings, Miyamoto Musashi. Okay, we're not gonna be reading from this. We're gonna be reading from the 33 Strategies of War by Robert Greene. You guys will love this book. Let's dive in. Okay, first off, we're going to be visiting law number 2. And it's the guerrilla mindset strategy. You guys gotta, this is something you gotta declare on yourself, okay? I need you to look at your life. Look, January 1st is coming up. Take in this story, take in this message. Look at your life and become ruthless. Declare war on yourself this year. What shit do I need to change up? It says in here, repetition replaces creativity. How much repetition do you have in your day? What are you going to cut out this year, man? Seriously. Is it the internet? Is it the repetitive echo chamber that you find yourself in? Whether that be red pill, flat earth theory, your religion, your diet, your views on whatever, your daily routines, what you're doing, your workouts, your work, your music, I don't care. How are you getting stuck and not moving forward? Okay? As we read this, you can either write this down, be ruthless with yourself. We have to change. All right? The guerrilla war on the mind strategy. Do not fight the last war. What most often weighs you down and brings you misery is the past, in the form of unnecessary attachments, repetitions of tired formulas, and the memory of old victories and defeats. You must consciously wage war against the past and force yourself to react to the present moment. Be ruthless on yourself. Do not repeat the same tired methods. Sometimes you must force yourself to strike out in new directions, even if they involve risk. All right, guys, so here's the story here. All right, I'm not even going to read it. I'm going to tell you to my own words. Musashi's 21 years old. He's looking to become the greatest. And so what he does, just like a video game, he is now facing boss after boss after boss. He was the Dark Souls of the samurais, okay? And the first guy that he fought was another young man, proclaimed brilliant swordsman. Musashi said, let's meet up. They met up. The guy comes out of the bush. Musashi stabs him through the heart. Swift execution, kills the man in cold blood. All right. Moving on, he heard of this other warrior named Biken. And Biken had a mace and a ball, one that he would swing around. And Musashi wanted to see how it was used. But he wasn't allowed to see how it was used unless he was to fight him in a battle. And all of Musashi's friends said, listen, man, this guy's super dangerous. You can't go into there and expect to win. His weapon is so out of the norm. You won't know what to do. Musashi said, it's okay. So he comes to battle with 2 swords. And they begin fighting. And the guy starts whirling his thing around. He's aiming at his head. He goes like this. He throws at Musashi's head. Musashi whacks it out of the way. And then he stabs the guy right through the heart. Cold steel, dude. Kills him. It was nothing. All right, he changes tactics. The third warrior is known as the best in the entire world. He carries a warrior sword that is the longest that any samurai has ever seen in his life. It has a warlike spirit to it. Some people think that it is endowed by a spirit of war. Musashi challenges this master, and they agree to meet up at a certain time. The master swordsman is there right on time, 8 a.m. in the morning. He waits for Musashi. Musashi never shows up. 1 hour goes by, 2 hours goes by. Musashi never arrives. The warrior looks out into the ocean, and he sees a little boat just sort of coasting along the waves. He sees one long oar just wilting the waves. It's Musashi. Musashi's sort of just laying in the boat. He has a towel wrapped around his head. He's just like this, sort of staring up at the sky. Just lazy, very lazy, like he doesn't care. No respect. This infuriates the master swordsman. Musashi ends up coming to land. He's 2 hours late at this point. He comes up, he takes the oar. He doesn't even have a sword. The swordsman's like, "Where's your sword? You're going to fight me with a piece of wood?" Musashi says, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." They begin to fight. And Musashi now has an even longer sort of piece, a weaponry to fight than this swordsman with his longest sword. The swordsman swings out at Musashi. Musashi paddles it away with his oar. He sweeps him off of his feet, and then he cracks him upside of the head. He kills the man, this master swordsman, with a boat oar. He dies. Right there. Musashi had something realized that most samurais had never really grasped. Is that all of the previous battles that you have won, should all of the previous knowledge that you have gained and acquired, should not be a foundation or a means of understanding the battle that is ahead of you. He adapted to his circumstances. He did this by being present, by being aware, by listening, and not relying too heavily on what everyone else was telling him or what he thought to be the correct way. This is a big thing for me, guys, because I watch YouTube and I see that a lot of us are sort of stuck in an echo chamber. It seems as if everyone has an opinion on everything. If you're on the carnivore diet, you're a fucking idiot. If you're a vegan, well, fuck you, man. If you're depressed, here's how you get out of depression. This is why you're depressed. We have guys in the red pill community. We have guys in the men going their own way community. If you're approaching girls, you're just an idiot. You're an imbecile. Don't ever approach girls. Girls they're hypergamous by nature. They only care if you got money, if you're at the top, and just don't validate them. Never do it. And then if you read the comments, everyone's like, finally someone tells the truth. And then you got the guys telling you need this kind of game. You need introvert game. You need this game. You need this fucking game. Dude, everyone's got an opinion. Oh my God. There is no one that is this enlightened. The world is too big. There's too many people. No one has that much skin in the game. No one has that much experience to say that they know how everything works. What often happens is we get stuck in theorizing, and we over-theorize. We attach ourselves to a theory, and now this becomes a foundation. We fight the opponent with the same weaponry, with the same tactics, and the same strategy, and we never actually adapt like Musashi. I don't know about you, but I had my parents tell me that I had potential. Okay? By them telling me that, I believe that it sparked in me a desire to be able to overcome my circumstances and to get what it is that I want. And there would be no gate that could bar me from getting what I wanted. Okay? Not in a greedy, not in a prince mentality of I deserve this. No. I knew that if something was bugging me in my life, for instance, when I was in high school and I felt like a weirdo, man. I was sitting at lunch alone. My social skills were very poor. Girls would come up to me and show interest, and I would shy away and be filled with anxiety. But I knew that if I decided to, I could get over this shit, man. I could I could be better than I was now. And I don't know that if a lot of you guys realize that I don't think you understand how much you're being the victim. You're deciding to be a victim by watching all of these creators, by reading certain things online, by never taking any action, and just keeping yourself in the same place. You're constantly confirming to yourself why it is that you can't do something, why it is that you're not good enough, why it is that you'll never be this, never be that. Maybe you failed. Maybe you're not going to be a professional NBA player. Maybe that dream failed. Come up with a new dream. Maybe you're depressed. Maybe you're doing self-development and you feel bored. What's the point of doing any of this shit, man? If we don't got some underlying motivation, if we don't got some desire to be greater. Stop confirming your pre-existing beliefs. Stop holding yourself back, because I'm telling you, this is just a coping mechanism to be miserable. All right, people call this a coping mechanism because they've already solidified their position in the world. They've already literally told themselves the same story over and over again that it's become them. Think about that. How many friends do you have that have the same story playing over in their head? That it's become who they are. It's like that when they go out. They're not, I'm just an introvert. I'm not going to be social. I can't get I can't get the girl. I'm not going to do this. Guys, embrace the fucking suffering and be ready to get it what it is, to do what it is that you need to do. All right? I'm going to leave you guys here. In preparing yourself for war, you must rid yourself of myths and misconceptions. Strategy is not a question of learning a series of moves or ideas to follow like a recipe. Victory has no magic formula. Ideas are merely nutrients for the soil. They lie in your brain as possibilities, so that in the heat of the moment, they can inspire a direction, an appropriate and creative response. Let go of all fetishes, books, techniques, formulas, flashy weapons, and learn to become your own strategist. Learn to grow a fucking pair of nuts and grab them. In looking back on an unpleasant or disagreeable experience, the thought inevitably occurs to us. If only we had said or done X instead of Y. If only we could do it over. The problem, though, is not that we think of the solution only when it is too late. The problem is that we imagine that knowledge is what was lacking. If only we had known more. If only we had thought it through more thoroughly. That is precisely the wrong approach. What makes us go astray in the first place is that we are unattuned to the present moment, insensitive to the circumstances. We are listening to our own thoughts, reacting to things that happened in the past, applying theories and ideas that we digested long ago, but that have nothing to do with our predicament in the present. More books, theories, and thinking only make the problem worse. Get out there and get some skin in the game.